Thank you for joining us. I'm Tessa Spencer. First at 6, new details from federal authorities about suspended Charleston County Magistrate Judge James Gosnell. We have team coverage tonight on the case and do want to warn you, the details are very disturbing. Emily Deanne joining us now live from downtown Charleston, where Gosnell appeared before a federal judge for a detention hearing today. Emily.
Well, we learned today that Gosnell will stay behind bars as we await a preliminary hearing. This comes after his attorney waived that detention hearing this afternoon. We learned today that federal investigators say that they found hundreds of photos, videos, and conversations involving children and infants less than a year old. The Department of Homeland Security searched Gosnell's Charleston home on September 16th. Then on the 17th, they searched his Charleston County court chambers, where they seized bank records. Those bank records, they say, confirmed transactions for child sexual abuse materials. This stemmed from a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in late 2024.
James Gosnell was appointed to the position of trust to protect the community from criminals amongst us. But as detailed in the government's detention memorandum, he is alleged to have abused and exploited the most vulnerable, which are infants and toddlers.
Federal agents say they are still combing through all of the evidence on the devices. In all, 14 USB drives and iPhone discs, iPads, VHS tapes, and numerous other electronic devices, all containing child sexual abuse materials, were seized. Federal officials say they also found messages where Gosnell talked about sexually abusing neighborhood children. Federal agents also found evidence Gosnell was leading Zoom posts to, quote, teach other pedophiles the tricks of the trade, end quote. Federal investigators are now calling on the public to help them identify potential victims. Our website has more.
Emily, according to that latest court filing that you just mentioned, it reads that, quote, the weight of the evidence against Gosnell is immense, overwhelming, and conclusive. It's a disturbing case made more disturbing by the defendant standing within the legal community. In addition, that filing also read, quote, as a judge, he was intimately involved in the administration of justice, including individuals charged with child sex crimes. He knew the legal consequences if he was caught. He knew the reputational and community harm that would result. He knew the harm that comes to the children victimized in the CSAM industry, and yet he still persisted. Now, authorities are asking for help to locate and identify any and all possible victims. Some of them may be in the Charleston area, and Homeland Security needs the public's input to assist in that. They ask if you have a child or know of a child that was ever alone with or held by James Benjamin Gosnell. They ask that you please come forward with any information. ABC News 4 legal analyst Charlie Condon says coming forward in cases like this can be extremely difficult, but it's something that should be done right away. And there are plenty of local advocacy organizations that can help.
If you think there's a chance that this defendant had access to your child, to do all you can to look into the matter. Now, whether that's a physical exam or talking, if the child's verbal, to talk with the child in the appropriate setting. And if you want to get professional help, again, we've got some really, really good organizations here in the Low Country. And to reach out to these different centers, the D. Norton Center would have many, many expert forensic interviewers to be of assistance.
And Homeland Security has set up a tip line for that purpose on Twitter or X. It is there on your screen. You can notify investigators on Twitter at HSI_HQ or at HSI_Charlotte. You can also send tips via email at Charleston_exploitation_tips at hsi.dhs.gov. And we did reach out to the D. Norton Child Advocacy Center. They were not able to give us an on-camera interview, but they shared the following advice for parents concerned that their child may be a victim. They say to remain calm, allow the child to talk, show interest and concern, reassure and support the child's feelings, and most importantly, take action and make sure the proper authorities are contacted. They also caution not to panic or overreact or press the child to talk. Do not promise anything you can't control. Do not blame or minimize the child's feelings or overwhelm the child with questions. And again, if you have any information, contact investigators with the information we provided from Homeland Security. Working for you, Webb Wright, News 4.